Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello and good day. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org, also greyheadseo.com. In today's SEO tips video, what I'd love to share with you are actual ways that you can rank on Google fast in 2026. These are SEO tips for ranking in Google fast in 2026. Now, before we get started here, I want to welcome you. Say hello. It's going to be a new year. Expect to see plenty of content. Please make sure that you ask any and all questions underneath the video. I want to make videos to help you as a business owner, a website owner, a webmaster. That's my aim. Again, my name is Chris Palmer. This video here, before we get started here, is actually brought to you by one of my subscribers, and I want to thank you for that. And he asked very simply, he said, nowadays there's groups out there that are ranking sites with redirects, or they're ranking them quickly. What's the trick? How do I do this? And how do they get these sites up in hours? So I wanted to go ahead and make this video because after speaking to this gentleman, I realized that they're doing Parasite. They're doing AI utilizing Claude or these other tool sets. And these are cool, right? These are cool little tricks and tactics and hacks. But what I'm going to share with you before we get into it is for educational purposes only. This will be tips and strategies that I wouldn't recommend that you deploy. But if you actually want to learn how to rank very quickly or how to rank for any keyword you want quickly, I will share with you one strategy that you can utilize in order to rank for any term you want as quick as possible. B, what I'm going to outline for you is I want to share with you, regardless of all this gibberish and babble that you hear online about AIO, GEO, all this nonsense, it's still about authoritative assets, all right? So first and foremost, we're going to talk about how you can rank fast on Google in 2026. These will be SEO tips for that for educational purposes only. 2, I'm going to also share with you why authority and age and SEO is the done data, right? The third thing I want to share with you is going to be, these strategies are cool, maybe utilizing YouTube and tactics from 2011. Like, this is cool, right? I want to share with you stuff that's actually working in order to allow you to earn, right? For educational purposes only. Alongside of this, I want to point out to you ways to index very quickly. I get asked this a lot. I'll give you one of our methods. I'll share with you one way. And then the last piece to wrap it all up, to bring in the new year right. Like, this is real Parasite SEO. Actually, we don't even do Parasite SEO. I'm going to share with you tactics that allegedly can be deployed in order to rank very quickly within Google for any term that we darn well please. These are real tactics. This is real technique. I'm going to give you a sliver of real SEO. Okay. Everybody else is laughable. There's a couple out here doing it right. I commend you, gentlemen and ladies. But I'm going to give you some tips for how to rank very quickly for educational purposes only. 2, I'm going to share with you why authority is the factor. It still is. Backlinks matter. Age matters. The next thing that I want to share with you is going to be a very fast way to get assets indexed. One method, one strategy, one technique. And the very last piece, in order to bring it all together for you, is I get asked about these domains. This gentleman asked me specifically, here, we'll go here, because I'll share with you one technique and then I'll walk you through another technique for utilizing domains in order to create the same type of strategy. All right. So enough jibber jabber. The stream is live. Awesome. Let's get into it. For educational purposes only, I don't recommend any of this. I don't know who these sites are. This is all for educational purposes only. I don't condone any of this. Anything that you learn here, I'm not responsible for. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. And cheers to a new year. I hope that you're all well. I hope that you had a great holiday. I know that I did. I took a little break, a reprieve. I had to get some things in order. I was getting myself back in order. What are my goals for the future? What do I want to do this year? And it's clear. Oh, I love these. I wish, what? Ghost, can you talk with me? Not only am I one of your best customers, but you mean you could get together? All right. It's a stream. I do what I want. I was hoping to get rid of any scragglers, but oh, good. I did. Wonderful. So here we go. Very first thing that I want to share with you is going to be this. All right. Again, in order to outline some of these strategies, you have to look around for something. So the first tactic for ranking very quickly that I'll share with you will be this. All right. I'll share with you the entire screen. We'll go over here. All right. Now, again, this is for educational purposes only. So here's the first one I'm going to go for. So here, you'll see these types of terms. And it doesn't have to be this. It could be anything, right? But the tactic that I want to share with you first, in order to actually rank for anything you want and actually rank quickly, you can go out there and spend and allocate budget towards high-priced releases and do Parasite. But really what is actually done is for terms like this, if you scroll down this list right here, if you take a look here, we have a government site at the very top, ranking number 1. See this? All right. I'm not going to read this out loud. I don't condone any of this. This is for education. Okay. Maybe to protect yourself, maybe to learn a new strategy. But if you take a look at number 3, you can see these types of assets here. So we have Louisiana Used Motor Vehicle Commission. This is a government asset. And it doesn't have to be government assets. It doesn't have to be educational platforms. It could be any website that you want that allows attachments to be uploaded. You can upload attachments into these forms. You know how you'll see a lot of times, and this maybe even has happened to you, right? Think about your own website. Have you ever done a site : search for your own asset? Maybe something like this, site : I don't know. How about chrispalmerseo.com, right? Site's been down forever. But you'll do a search like this. It's down. I own the asset. But what I'm getting at here is you'll do a site : and then you'll have a bunch of pages that are indexed. How do they do this? Well, they're utilizing your forms in order to do uploads. And in these particular instances, like this particular one here, you can see that you have a non-traditional term ranking at the top on a very high authority, well-trusted domain. Remember, my number B or letter B strategy was to share with you was 1, how do you rank actually? How do you do this fast? And I have more tips for you, and we're going to talk about indexing next. But how are you actually doing this? Well, the very first thing is that authority and age matters, and it matters a lot. It matters a real lot. In fact, it matters so much that, look at the top, you can rank for even disgraceful things such as this. You with me? So we scroll on down here and look at the authority. So if you have someone in the mindset, think about follow the dollar. That's always the rule. All right. Are you with me? Think about the mindset of the consumer, the intent of the consumer. These are principles of SEO that matter the most. The intent is I want to buy something quick. I need it to rank. It needs to be authoritative. Well, it's trustworthy, it's fast, it's quick, and on top of that, it's an attachment that's PDF format, which is easily digestible on what appears to be a very authoritative asset. I wouldn't dare click on something along these lines because there could be embedded redirects, things along these lines. It's another talk for another day. But if they're in the mindset, if they have the intent, we have an authoritative asset that's aged. I'm able inside the form. This is just one. There's many ways. And if you're curious of the tactic, if you're watching this and you're like, wow, this is a great fast way. I don't know why you would think that, but if you did, for educational purposes only, you can do scrapes for these types of sites or any other type of website. It could be WordPress. It could be any type of site that you want that has a deficiency. In this instance, it's going to be formidable forms. This is an upload. It doesn't have to be this one, though. It could be anything that will allow an attachment or is leaving their forms wide open to be quickly indexed on. Well, now I can get in there fast as possible. I can get this to rank in 24 hours very quickly. Any asset I want, any term, anything I want, anything. Okay? Are you with me? In fact, inside of our group at SEOmastermind.org, we were sharing at a time, and then I went and told on myself because I found a loop within Google Groups. I found the loop for Google Groups, and we were doing something very similar. Once I found the loophole, I showcased it, allegedly, and then we gave up the tapes because really all I care about is a safe web. That's what I care about, right? And the last thing that I would want maybe my daughter or my son to find something like this, right? So understanding and knowing how these things work is not only a safeguard for you for educational purposes, but it's also could be a strategy because it doesn't have to be poisonous like this. But this is a good outline. All right. So how this is done is we're looking for weak forms or anything submission that could be an attachment or a weak form that will still have a upload feature or any type of file that's wide open that could be an attachment, or it will allow to other fields that I could go force index. And what I'll share with you next is a way that we can quickly get these things indexed. But I want to point out the fact that authority is still very, very important. And you could look at any of these types of terms. And if you look around, you see PDFs or you see these types of formats, this is actually legit, which is mind-blowing to me. But this is for pups or whatnot. But if you scroll down here, I found another fun one. Not fun, but look at Dazzling Smiles. You know what I'm saying? Dazzling Smiles, you should check your stuff. They had a form that was wide open. That's how they're doing this. Okay, and that's how you do this. This is how you rank very, very quickly, actually. Like, I could teach you, again, tactics from 2015 for utilizing YouTube. I could also teach you other ways, but there are ways to actually rank very quickly, and this is one of them. All right, and I gave it to you. You can look up the actual step-by-step somewhere else, but we're looking for weak forms or anything that allows attachments to be uploaded, okay? Moving on, don't forget chrispalmer.org. I dare you to come play with me. No, no, but check me out. We have SEO services, consultation, intakes. We actually do SEO. In fact, our mastermind is down at this current moment, but I still have my members that have been with me for many, many years, giving complimentary time to them as my form of the most valuable asset to a man or a woman is your time. So for the past 90 days, I've been giving my time freely. And that was my give back to start the new year. All right. But you can check that out. It'll be back up. Plus, I have a test running in the background because I want to share with you why authority, age, and how Google has memory. You know, I had a gentleman, recently caused me great grief. And I'll leave your name out of this, Michael. Oh, darn it. But, I was coming over here and I'll share with you now why not only how age can be transferred and authority can be transferred, but how Google has memory. Let's feast our eyes on a very less competitive term, such as GSASER list. Now, this was a small test that we were doing, and I want to point this out. Yes, I fell, but for a very long period of time, months, in fact. I was sitting at ranking at number 2 and at number 3, right? And this is when I found out, and you found out, that authority, right, entering the entity graph, right, and understanding how it actually works, and understanding that Google has memory is how you can create pages like this, okay, that have nothing here. And there's no trick. There's nothing inside of a pixel. There's no images. There's no hitting anything. It's understanding how the entity graph actually works, and then also understanding that Google has memory. And then boom, you put up something that has 2 fields filled out. We call these optimization zones, which yes, I got from Kyle Roof. He said the word zone. And I thought that was clever. So I started utilizing it. But take a look here. See, we put it inside the meta title, the most important place. You see, fundamentals of SEO are still wildly important. Age, authority, and the fundamentals trump all that other nonsense that you hear. And then that little trick. We'll talk about little tricks utilizing Claude or utilizing authoritative assets such as Forbes, Guardian, CNN, any site I want. This is done utilizing what is called an open redirect. You can go and look that up yourself. Okay? Open redirect. This is how you can take authoritative assets, and I would share with you some of my examples, but that's outside of the scope of today's talk. But you can create what is called open redirects utilizing text fragments. And then the next tactic, or these are tactics, this is not long-term strategy. These are things that work right now. And for educational purposes, I can share these things with you. I know these things. Maybe in past moons, maybe even new people that deployed these things. But here, take a look at this, all right? GSA search engine ranker. So these are the zones that I wanted to point out to you. Look at number 1. I have an H1 and a title tag on the page. And understanding how entity or the knowledge graph works and understanding that Google actually has memory is how you're able to get these things to just show up in there just by putting 2 pieces on the page. I got to hurry up, okay? Hold up. Give me a second here. I'm on a roll. All right. Open redirect. So that next little tactic, I saw some people putting some things up, and it's cute, man. It's cute. It's cute. That stuff's cute. Claude, 24 hours. Yeah, man, it's funny, man. That's funny. But you want to know what's cooler or funnier? Is when you could take CNN or Guardian, any site I want, almost any site, and you can utilize a tactic such as this. Here, watch. So if you were to say, let's just say it was this asset here. You take this asset here, okay? Put this here. You right click. I'm not going to give you all of it, but I'll give you some of the how-to. See this copy link to highlight? This is called what is called a text fragment, okay? See, with text fragmentation, I can append any words that I want to authoritative assets. I'm not going to say that again. So what does that mean? Well, we know that Google puts most emphasis on age and authority. And there's some flash in the pan fun little tricks, right? And they're cute, very cute. But if you can make, for instance, if you were to look up, again, I'm not giving up all the tapes here, but let's just say that utilizing text fragment and force indexation, all right, with an open redirect, you can look this up for yourself. I'm not here to give you that. This is for education. What you're able to do then is then force index anything I want inside of the text fragment. Here, I'll break this down for you really quick. So let's just say, if I go to say Forbes, okay? I'll give you a little piece. I'll give you a little bit more, okay? So, and if you go to Forbes, see, there has to be something that's close. And here, I'll share this with you. So Forbes, I don't know. Names best search engine optimization. Okay. Perfecto. So you come inside of here, something like this. Here comes SEO AI for search. Okay. Now, again, I'm not going to give you all of it. And this guy probably paid, I'm sure, untold fortunes for this piece of content. But if we scroll down this list here and we look for something that's close to what we want it to say about us, you know how if you look up, I'm going to put the pieces together for you here. something like, who is Christopher Seth Palmer, right? Like this. All right, and you'll get this overview. And then 2, I'm an American internet entrepreneur, YouTuber, author, podcast, and host. And see, everybody will go over here and say, oh, it's because they're utilizing these parasites in order to get this to showcase. But we know that Google rewards freshness and authority. So they showcase this. But what everyone doesn't see for some reason, well, some do, is that it also needs to be repeated on the web. So this is the most authoritative that said it. That's why it's up here. But this phrase verbatim has to be said on the web. And nothing is a faster way to get it to say what I want it to say verbatim than getting assets like this to say it first. And then that's where the open redirect, text fragmentation, okay, and instant indexation come together in like a stew, perhaps. All right. So, and this is for educational purposes only. And always remember, I've been doing this a very long time. I only showcase strategy and technique. And yes, it's still very alive and well, but only when I have something new and better. Okay. I'm just being honest. So we're on to what's new, what's next, and how do I get there first? Okay. That's why here, you can have this. Okay. So when we scroll down this list here, I'll show you something here. So it has to be something fast, but it can't have any blinders. The CSS has to be, it has to still get cached. So what you do is you check this, you go to inspect, you come up here, and then I need to go to no resource given. Okay, perfect. So now if you check inside the resource there and it says that it wasn't cached, nah, not going to work. Okay. So we want it to force cache, force index, force crawl, and then hopefully I can get it to make it past into the index. So here's what you'll do. And I'm not going to give it this something like this. All right. So you want to be up towards the top of the page. Not this though. To make sure that they've transformed my feelings to show up here and search something. Give me a second here. Perfect. Perfect. So it's already in quotes. Beautiful. Thank you, Forbes, right? Right? Now watch. You take something like this, we're going to copy the text, and you don't have to do it this way. This is just fast and easy. Google put this in here many Chrome versions ago. Thank you, Google. And then you come into something here. I'll share with you what this is. Scroll on down, and thank you for this question. Now, again, I'm giving you multiple strategies. Merry Christmas. This is for you. Indexation, how to rank quick, why authority and true authority and old fundamentals are still very prevalent today. The next thing that I was giving you is I'm giving you another way to get the AI overviews. I'm giving you bonuses. Look at this. I'm in the giving spirit. Another way to get the AI overviews to say whatever you want temporarily, and that's the problem, right? I also teach how to long-term be successful, but I know the fast way too. And that's what I'm willing to give you. So here, come over here. It's not about tricks. It's about long-term repeatable success that will make your phone ring. That's what I care about today in 2026, moving forward. I'm willing to give you this kind of stuff though. All right. If you want to do it, you want to go bang them one time, go for it. But it's not what I recommend, but yes, I know all the tricks. So here. All right, so you see how this is? So you're going to keep this just like this, okay? Now the piece that I'm going to leave out is the open redirect type. That's up to you to go learn how that works. But see how this is? Text. The industry is really turned on. It's on into its head because traditional ways of eventually SEO just don't work anymore. I would never say that. You get something like this, take this, copy, and bear with me here. I'm just giving you a small piece so you can do this, but this has to be paired with an open redirect. You can do whatever you want, but then you come inside of here, see how these words are? I just need to switch up the verbiage. You see, when an authoritative asset says something, it's more prone to get picked up. But again, it can't just be said once. And just because they're showing it does not mean that that's the only thing that's going to be taking into account. There has to be repetition found on the web in multiple crawls, in my opinion. You know, I just do this every day. I mean, who would have thought? But here we come inside of here, SEO. I'm just gonna make something up to move on to the next thing because I'm not gonna give you the next piece of this. But you come inside of here, won't work anymore. Do work very well, unlike these nuts screaming about geo. And then, of course, said, and then whack it with the whole name. All right. Then you'll take something like this, utilizing open redirect, but also force indexation. And the strategy that I want to share with you is going to be one way, still highly effective right now. We have a new way, but I'll share with you how you can get stuff like this indexed. Now, this is a text fragment with open redirect is what you want, utilizing an authoritative asset. This has to be done more than once. Multiple authoritative assets need to repeat the same gibberish, whatever it is, and it has to be said in different ways. But if I can get this, and then sometimes too, you'll get lucky. Like I could get it to say whatever I want, but it's temporary. That's the problem. When you do it the authoritative way, I could get it to stick longer. Okay? So this is another strategy for ranking very quickly and then affecting the AI overview in the short term. Now let's talk about the next strategy. So again, I want to make this video as brief as possible, give as much value as possible. And the next thing that I want to talk about, because you can do these types of strategies, but without the indexation, you'll really get hung up. So what I'm going to outline for you is a highly effective way of indexing pages, text fragmented AI overview snipers, right? I could force index new websites, new pages, whatever you want. Okay. So this strategy will actually be laid out by utilizing here. Let's get rid of this crap. Okay. And then this strategy with the help of a great place called W3 School. I know you've heard of it, right? What a great asset. Well, at W3 School, what I would implore you to do is go over to W3 School. All right, just like this. And what you want to learn how to do is create. I know. Is create a RSS feed XML. Okay. So what you do is you come inside of here. You have your XML RSS. All right. And I want you to take a look at this. Again, I'm not going to give you the step-by-steps of everything, but I will give you the overview. All right. In words of Black Hat World, this is a forum that I've been on very long time. They call it spoon feeding. I won't spoon feed it, but I will definitely lead you to the water to help you. Okay. Again, I want you to take the time to head on over to sendfox.com/SEO mastermind. In fact, it looks just like this. If you want me to make a video for you, if you want me to address a audit, maybe, perhaps you want me to look at your maps, if you want me to break down more strategies, backlink strategies, off-page strategies, if you want me to actually give you tactics, or more importantly, strategy that will actually be effective, that isn't just pulled out of the air or read on Reddit or something, like this has been deployed over the course of time. This is how we've successfully actually been able to earn over the course of time. Please head over here like this. Go to SendFox, put in SEO Mastermind like this. Okay. And just hit enter. Come to this page. I made it as simple as I possibly could for you and for myself, to be honest. But you come inside of here, email, first and last could be just your first. And then how can I help you? Do you want me to do an audit? Do you have a video idea? Do you want me to look at your maps? Anything that you need, put it in that box right there. Or you could just say, I just want the newsletter. The newsletter is BOGOs, tips, ideas, videos. We send it out once a month. We also give free tests inside of that monthly newsletter. All right. Tests that are very, very helpful for business owners. So take your time, please check this out. Okay. So I can give you more value. Okay. But here, come on over here. And we're back to indexing, utilizing a W3 school template. And again, I'm not going to spoon feed, but I want to give you the tactics that I know that will be effective. So far we've talked about open redirects. We've talked about the sniper method, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I make up all kinds of stuff, right? Just like the rest of them. But you want to affect AI overviews? You want to be able to index for anything? You want to be able to rank very, very quickly? I've showed you 2 strategies for that. Now we're moving into a strategy for indexation. Grab your pens and your pencils. Here you go. Are you ready? I dogged it out as much as I could. So here's what you'll do. Okay. So you grab this right here and you can read the documentation all that you want, but what you want to do is you want to grab this. You see how you see title, link, description, right? So what you want to do here, okay? And again, I won't give you every piece, but just because it's not a podcast, just because it's not a video, and just because it's not a site on your website does not mean that you cannot put a title, the link, and the description inside of an RSS feed, right? And then submit it through what is called Search Console. All right. You can read about this here. W3 School, here's the layout. It's just a simple XML sitemap. It is another sitemap that you create and you submit with your asset. I would hope not your primary money site. You have assets for testing and for educational purposes only, allegedly. And then you have your main assets. It has to be tried and true before you deploy on things that, you don't want to mess up your flow, right? I understand. So here's the XML document. Very simple. It's an RSS feed. So you come over here just like this. All right. And then you, how to upload my RSS feed okay. You can read right on here. This will give you the step-by-step. First and foremost, you have to create your XML sitemap. The next thing is you can read and learn how to upload your RSS feed sitemap. Okay? You're creating an RSS feed sitemap, but you're not utilizing your asset. You're not using your podcast. You're taking your open redirect URLs. You're taking your PDF formats, maybe from the form uploads, right? You're taking your PBN links. Anything that you want forced indexed, you make and put it inside of your RSS feed. Create an RSS feed format. In fact, Google loves these so much. Let's see. Does Google love RSS feed XML feeds? Yes! They love them! You're doing them a favor. So, and if you read more documentation, like, if you create a service account or if you're utilizing the API in any stretch of the imagination and you're doing this on auto, like I have trainings out there that will share with you how you can use the indexing API so you could do this on auto and you could do it at scale. But be cautious on your key, and you need to do what is called key rotation, but that's another talk for another day. But what we're doing here is we're taking those links. You're naming them the primary title that you want to be seen. The description is the primary meta description that wants to be seen. We're talking about in Google. You want to rank fast. You want to be seen fast, right? Well, you create the asset on authoritative assets that have age and authority and trust. You create your RSS feed like this. Use this little template if you want. You can even use the indexing API, but the title that you want, the description that you want, and you grab the URLs, and each individual URL, it could be its own feed, or you can add those feeds together. And then here's the buster. So for a while, we have an indexing service. We have a new way of doing it. This is what we're doing forever. Highly effective. Still works right now. I have a new way, though. But if you come inside of here, here's the best part. You can create not only RSS feeds of links that you create, but you can create RSS feeds of RSS feeds and then submit them. And again, I'm not saying have one asset and do this. Multiple assets with multiple keys, requesting like a machine. You with me? That's how you get stuff indexed. That's how you get that stuff to show up to the top fast. That's how you actually do it. All right? You're welcome. Merry Christmas. I'm in the giving mood. I got one more piece, one more tip for you. I'll lower down the level of technicality just a tad, and I want to get back to this gentleman here, his question, okay? Again, you can visit grayhatseo.com. That's right, I own it. And owning it isn't just, I'm not saying I own the domain. I mean, I own it. Like, I own it. I am grayhatseo.com. I own it. Literally. But here, let's go back into this gentleman here. And I appreciate the time to ask me the questions. And I've given you the form. Please ask any and all questions below. My goal this year is only to help as many people as I possibly can. If there's anything that I could do for you, I'll bend over backwards. But of course, I want to make sure that it's helpful for both of us. All right? But that's my aim this year. I made up my mind. That's what I want to do. So we take a look at this. Nowadays, a few groups rank, or they try, website. I'm sorry. By redirecting old domains. Now, if you want to use this type of strategy, okay, the next thing, I've given you forced indexing. I've given you open redirects with text fragment. I've shared with you form uploads, and I've even given you the weakness, right? That's just one though. That's to open your eyes to, okay, oh, this is how you do this. I just gave you one, okay? The very last piece that I would like to share with you is this, okay? Nowadays, a few groups rank their websites just by redirecting old domain to a new one. Can you tell me the trick out there related to this? Okay, my friend, here's what I would implore you to do, okay? Do you remember how during this conversation, I was setting you up to answer this question? Do you remember how I shared with you this? How about GSA search engine ranker lists, right? Let me see if I take this one. Number 4. See, I was sharing this with you in order to fall back on, because this right here is the key the skeleton key that you needed to unlock your success for acquiring expired or other assets online. Okay? So, and you're probably wondering, what do you mean, Chris? Give me a little bit more, a little bit more, buddy. The reason why this is the key is because once we understand, okay, there is groundwork that needs to be set up. All right. And I went over this. I said it twice. So you have to lay groundwork on authoritative assets in your niche that are being showcased, right? SEMrush, along with many other sites, have showcased the best sites, right, that are being generated. You remember when you search for your name? Remember the most authoritative show up here? See, that's the trick. They always try to get you with that. Oh, here, look over here. So what we want to do here is we need to know, A, what are the most authoritative? B, we know that, okay, once we get it and Google eats this from the authority, then it needs to be also repeated elsewhere on the web. My favorite is commenting, okay? But the last piece and the key to this is, see how we have this one little site? And yes, I know this is low authority, but this is just what I show. It's forward facing. This was part of a test in understanding how the entity graph works and how age and authority affects and their memory. So for your question here, here's how it actually works. And this is free. Okay. I didn't build a whole group on it. I don't have whole tools on this nonsense. This is one tactic, one trick. All right. So you come inside of here, and what I would highly recommend that you get is a tool. I mean, you can get any tool you want. Okay. But let's just say that you get expireddomains.net. Okay. You want to get expireddomains.net, and it doesn't have, this is just a way to sort, but you need something to be able to sort through the domains as fast as possible. And you're going to need 3 things in order for this to work to be able to rank fast. I showed you 2 other methods, but to use the expired domains, you need 3 things. 1, I need to have authoritative resources already set up, claiming whatever key term and key term grouping that I want to rank for. In this instance, it was GSA and Search Engine Ranker and Search Engine Ranker lists. You can look for yourself and see the pieces that I set up. 2, it has to be in the link graph for the category. What does this mean? I've showed this to ad nauseum, right? I've been screaming from the rooftop. When helpful content came out, that's that trick again. They're saying, oh, content. No, link graph. Link graph. That's really what it meant. Like, I need the contextual to match the category of link. That's really what happened, in my opinion. Right? And anybody that fell outside of that got slapped, right? And then you might even see some assets out there that have a bunch of spam. Yeah, they have a bunch of spam and a bunch in their category, and they got left alone. And it's mind-blowing. I know. It took me a while to figure it out. Amongst other things, too. But back to this strategy, I'm sorry. I'll try to stay focused. I have a lot on my mind. I have a lot that I want to share with you. And ask me more precise questions. I'll be happy to answer. Go over to the forum, ask below. I want to help whoever I possibly can. So we come inside of here. We need a way to look through the assets as fast as possible. We have to lay the groundwork with authoritative assets, right? But we also need other places that say, oh, chrispalmer.org offers search engine optimization ranker lists at an affordable cost. Chris Palmer SEO found on YouTube is also a GSA search engine ranker vendor. I need this at scale on non-authoritative comment links, it could be, but also on the authoritative sources for that category that are being rewarded, right? Like you see how when I just looked up my name up here. So for my category, these assets, if I go look at the category of this site, well, it probably matches the categories of the sites that are being rewarded here for the GSA. Oh, wrong page. My mistake. If I go look up Search Engine Ranker and it were to give me an overview of the authoritative assets that are in here, it probably has matching categories of the sites that are actually ranking. And if you're unsure of what category is, you can go over to Google and you can look up what is called AdSense and how they categorize websites. How they categorize websites is exactly how the link graph is categorized. Okay? It's based on category, not just content. The context to the content is the link graph. Simple. So I gave you piece 1, I gave you piece 2, piece 3. The site cannot be down for longer than a year. And it has to be within the category. Here, I'll share with you an example. I'll give you one more piece and then I'm out of here. I got to go get little C. Okay? I actually got a rock right now. I'm sorry I was pontificating too much. I enjoy this. I love you guys. That's why I'm here. Okay? Hold up. Hey. Hold up. I'll do this for you, though, just to give it to you. Bear with me here. Okay? Hold up. Okay. Copy. Get rid of this. Go over here. Go here. All right. Verify the code. So here, we're coming inside of here. Here's what I want a piece. So you understand the authoritative assets, right? Yes, like the Reddits and all that stuff. That's what they, again, it's never what the right hand's doing. They'll always say, oh, look at over here. It's never, ever what they say. Trust me. Come over here. Who's they? Spokesman and people that report on the spokesman, right? Like if you're writing articles on what somebody said inside of a chat, like, no, I don't want to read your stuff, dude. I don't care about that. I care about watching what actual business owners are telling me and what I see out in the wild. Like when I follow the strategies that these people and these assets and these journals and whatnot and these big, huge conglomerates say, I get whacked in my head every time. But when I follow what actually works, I seem to do better when I listen to me. So here, we're going to come inside of here. I want to point out category. This is what I mean, okay? Now, what this tool will do, and I don't own this, I don't know who this is, but you come inside of here, you need something to sort these. There's lots of other tools, but I'm not here to offer you tools. This is a free resource, that's why I'm showing it. But if you know tools that can sort through assets very quickly, you're finding category specific that have been online for no longer than a year that are in the link graph. Once I can find within the link graph, I need authoritative assets that I don't control online sites like Reddit. Doesn't have to be Reddit. Whatever, when you look up your key term and key term groupings, what sites is Google rewarding on the people that are in your place, right? Well, okay, I need to get those sites to say whatever it is that I'm about to go sell, all right? Once I can get them to say whatever I want to go sell, then the next piece is I need category specific because that means category just means that I have boats from sites that are in the same link graph. What's great about the link graph is that means even if I don't have a reciprocal link or a direct link, somewhere in the graph we're connected. You with me? That's how this works. And who came up with this brilliant idea? In my opinion, Google, right? Their most protected asset is AdSense, right? It's the dollar. It's their ad platform. And one of the first things they do is they classify site. It's the same way the link graph works. So classification of site, once they started understanding syntax, they started understanding sentiment better. Once they started really getting at all the content together, they classify the site, they understand the content, and then they have the link graph. You got to get all those to match. And we're looking to manufacture that. Okay? And that's what I'm teaching you right now. So within a year, why is that? Because you remember I showed you my site? Google's memory is up to a year. Now, we're not talking about cache. We're talking about if I take an asset, and I'm running another test right now. I'll share with you another result shortly, but as long as it's within a year. Now, it might not go back to the exact place, but close, right? So as long as I can get category specific, the site hasn't been down for a year and it has enough links in the link graph, plus I have authoritative assets online to say whatever it is I'm about to go sell. You come inside of a site like this, you see this row right here, TFF. MDP is referring domain. TF is trust flow. This is a majestic metric. TFF, this is the topical trust flow. This is a way to say category of site. SEMrush has it. Ahrefs has it. All of them have it, right? But who started it? The man themselves, the horse themselves. Google started it because they're the big dundada, right? These are tools to understand Google better. That's why they exist. In fact, freaking SEMrush just IPO'd. That's how important this stuff is. Anyway, here we take a look at this. I mean, that was like a year ago. So here, come inside of here. You're coming to here. Okay. Now, don't worry about the colors and anything like that, but understanding the category is everything. See, the word Google doesn't. This is why the PBN sellers will make a pretty site, right? And they'll put the words, the URL, the title, the content, the surrounding text, and the anchor text will match your category, right? The pictures even, and they're close. And then because of the cosmetic design, and they'll crack you with a high number. See, sometimes, and some vendors understand what actually moves the needle, which is referring domains that are category specific. And then how long? Like if a site has 1,000 referring domains, but those 1,000 referring domains were built more than a year ago, it doesn't have 1,000 domains. It might still show up in the tool, but, and Takeabyte has said it the best, link decay matters. So I need links that have been created within the last year that are category specific. I need other places on web, co-citation, to mention my gibberish, whatever I want, whatever I'm flipping, right? I need it to say it online. Reddit, Google will even give you the blueprint. They'll even say, oh, hey, here's the most authoritative. So once you find the most authoritative, great. We'll do those first. Then we can go do our comment links to repeat the same thing. Then we find category specific websites, right? And then I'm able to get them to, then we could go with whatever we want. See, and there might be other ways, and they might not have as many steps, but this is easy, it's fast, it's repeatable, and it's scalable. And this is how you do it. I'm looking for category specific websites then. It doesn't matter the content, right? That was there previously. And then here, I'll show you one more strategy. Here's another one that's happening. So I'll give you one more variation. So this is how you take a category specific, you utilize it, and you take an expired domain and build on top of it something fresh, and then started to rank very, very quickly for term groupings, very quickly. See, in competitive markets, super competitive markets, means that there's also other players that have a lot of age. See, and I'm not the only guy I didn't just dream this up, right? Players in big markets understand this very well, right? So if you go to try to go look for, just trust me, it's going to be hard. Like if you want to do this in law or in real estate or anything like that, like those two specifically, because that's where I work primarily, like you're going to, you know, get ready to spend 50, 30 grand on the site. Like there's real money to be spent up front, but like there's fast stuff to go be had too. I'm just saying. I'll give you one last strategy. Here's another one. So once you understand the link graph, okay, category specific, you know the timeline now, a year or less. The link decay is real. So these links have to be present within the last year. The site cannot be down for more than a year. Okay, and this is just one resource. So you can take assets like this, and how many times have you seen, here, I'll come over here. Well, I don't want to go looking for those terms again. But here, you'll see this. You'll see websites that, remember those examples I gave to you at first? But I know I have family members watching this now, so I don't want to put that up right now. But remember those assets that I showed you, for example, for educational purposes only? You'll see another strategy being utilized, which is subdomains. So yes, you can get and utilize a high authority site. It's not going to be an expired. It will be auction, or it will be dropped or pre-dropped. Probably going to be auction or pre-drop. And the strategy is very similar to acquiring the expired domain. But what they're doing is they're going and spending top dollar on an auction site that has a boatload of category specific links. And then what they'll do is they'll put a subdomain on it for whatever category. For instance, I go and buy a 10-year-old church that has 1,000 referring domains, trusted, authoritative, and then I put a subdomain on it and I go and flip whatever I want. You with me? And that's that strategy. I'm sure you've seen those sites in there with the subdomains. I've given you lots. I have to go right now. I love you guys. I'll answer any questions that you have very quickly. But I think I gave you 4 strategies. I gave you an index strategy. I gave you a lot. For those of you that understand, you know what I gave you. For those of you that are, you can utilize your chat GPTs, you can utilize tools to help understand. You can run this video back and piece the pieces together, right? But I gave it to you. And I hope it's helpful. Like, this is actually how you rank very quickly. This is actually how you dominate a SERP. This is actually the things that actually work. And no, I don't have a course. Don't book a time with me. I don't sell this stuff. That's not for sale. You know what I'm saying? All right. I gave it to you because we're friends. So, but here, come over here. I'll give you I'll answer a few questions if you have any. If not, I want to wish you the best holiday, and I love you guys. All right. Atif, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Every SEO expert tells about parasites, but no one gives exact blueprint of domains and right path to rank. I just gave it to you. You're welcome. Good day. Anybody that's out there flipping that kind of nonsense right now has no idea what they're doing. Last time I checked. I could be wrong. Richest Domains, good day from sunny Arizona. Hello, Richest. Good day to you from ice cold Philadelphia. Chris and Craig Palmer, upcoming with Craig soon. On Wednesday. On Wednesday, we'll have another talk. That's a New Year gem, Chris. Awesome, Mike. Good to see you, brother. I'm trying. What's next? Upwork, Abdul Mamin. Hello, bro. Any marketing tips to get clients? How can I explain them that they need to optimize GMB profile to get more business? So right now I'm working with another company, and what we're doing currently is we're buying and scraping. I've never seen anybody do it like these guys. I need to perfect for myself and one other client. So I was able to get a trusted client to pay for my campaign and theirs. And we're looking once, that's how I do everything, right? I get somebody that will fork the dough, and they're scraping I've never seen anybody do it like these guys. They're scraping leads, and they're making custom outreach campaigns that are outrageous, and they engage. It's sick. So they're SMS bulk campaigns based upon scraping, and it's at like stupid scale. And that right now, that or the auto dialers, like I work, if you've been following me for any period of time, you know that I work with different niches. One of the niches that I work with is locksmiths. And what we've been doing is we have a GBP auto dialer running. You may have even gotten a call from us, right? And we've been launching it out in other niches. Hey, we can see that your GBP is not verified. That works, bro. That works. And we like to lead with value. So I want to give away service for free, especially depending upon the niche. Like when I know they're making $1,000 a day, or, $500, $700 a day, or maybe more, but I know they're actually clicking, or they're doing digital keys, or anything, any type of service that I know they're getting paid every day and they're making hand over fist. I want to give them free to convey and give away as much value as possible. And you get that in return, and I'm trying to build trust, and that's what's working. You have robo dialers for maps, and bulk SMS campaigns right now are highly effective with email follow-ups. And once I have that perfected, I want to bind that with our brand awareness or our brand amplification method. I gave you tidbits of it today, but it's a new year. But those two methods right there are very effective. I don't know what niche you're in. I don't know what category you're in. I don't know what other ways you're doing, or maybe you might not like that type of strategy. But there's also too, you can pay gents to, depending on where you're selling, you can buy bulk mail, 35 cents, 37 cents a pop. I could get 2 color for 55 cents a unit. It's simple, right? You make a thoughtful, we were sending people Hot Wheels, sending Hot Wheels to very select people within different organizations or whatever toys, it works. Targeted mail campaign still works. Depending on the niche that we're working with, we've done that, bulk SMS, but when we're trying to get top funnel and we're just trying to get flow, bulk SMS, and robo-dialers. Yep. All right. So hopefully that helps you out, brother. I don't know what you're doing, but that's what we do. Allegedly. Legend, would love to work with you moving forward, buddy. Legend and Light. I'm not sure what you do, but maybe we could. Let me know what niche you're in, or book a time. Book a time. Maybe we could talk. All right. Bookkeeping Conroe. Chris, I love your videos. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I've started incorporating watching your videos into my daily routine. I appreciate you. Expect a daily upload. I learned some very valuable lessons with YouTube. I was punished dramatically. And once I get my traction back, I'm going to I'll tell everybody what the two things were that were detrimental to my growth. But there was two pieces. But once I get things back in order and I get back to my daily or 2 times a day, I'm going to pummel. Oh my gosh. I'm going to slaughter this platform along with all the others. But I'm very grateful for you spending the time with me. And I assure you the value will exceed the time that you spent. You should be able to make dividends by learning with me. I promise. All right. But that's up to you to decide. But thank you for your time. All right. We want a strong client who found us through local SEO. We'll continue pursuing this lead source. Amazing. We will probably hire you once we win some more contracts. Perfect. That's the goal. That's what I want. Learn what's actually effective with me. Deploy and be like, first, do this. Go out and see. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but go into the forums, go onto YouTube and follow some of this full courses that happens in 12 minutes or entire strategies that are done in 16 minutes. Follow that stuff. And then when you get done, come back and see me. Right? Bro, how to rank local business #1 in Google Maps. I have some videos for that. Yes, I have videos for that, but that's not today, my friend. Today is how to rank #1 on Google. Websites. These are tips. Maps is next, but that's very close to my heart. And I don't want to give the competitors any good ideas. See, the things that I've shared with you is for linking, for off-page, for indexing, and we have new ways. Constantly evolving. With maps, I actually gave you a piece that's highly effective that I maybe shouldn't have, was robo-dialers. But whatever, there's enough people to help out here. As long as you have quality service, the cream will always rise to the top. I love the way that you still help people think. That's right, brother. Kazi, that's it. That's what it's all about. We got to do a marketing event. Let's get it. I'm liking Dubai. Man, I wish my little guy was just a little bit bigger, man. I wish I could go to Dubai so bad. Oh well. I'm here. It's like 20 degrees. Who in their right mind would want to be here? Insanity. I can't convince anybody. Like, there's nobody. I walk outside, there's like nobody that ever thinks, especially not an original thought. I mean, here, like where I live, like I go out there. No, not at all. Insanity. Maybe it's me. And two, like you'll go out. Like I was out the other day, like I was joking with my son. I was like, did you see anybody here smiling at all? Not one smile. Nobody's happy. It's ice cold. Insane. Why would you want to stay here? For what? It does make me appreciate, though. Maybe that's why. God's a funny guy. We'll come down here. Or person. Who knows? I don't know. Bro, I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of yours. I want to be trained by you. Well, I'll be here every single day. I look forward to it. I don't generally, it takes a long time to, loyalty is everything, brother. It takes a long time to get on my side, but I love you and we offer service. I'll work with you Like we'll deploy services on your assets. But as far as showing how we scale business, no way. The newest hire that I just had here, I'll give this to you. You guys can drop off. There's no more here. Thank you, legend. My pleasure. Always happy. But I'll give you this last tidbit. There's a gentleman here. I gave him so many tests. Like I was driving this dude crazy, and he's huge. He would kill me, right? But like I gave him so many tests. It took him 4 years for me to finally say, all right, come on, let's start working together. He showed up all the time, had my best interest at heart. That's what I'm looking for. Do you have my back? Can I count on you even if I'm not counting on myself? Right? Even if you feel emotionally hurt by me, are you still going to have my back? That's how you get on my team. So, yeah, if that's what you're asking, loyalty is first. And like, I love paying out on my team. I pay on the piece. When I earn, you earn, right? And then that way you have incentive to want to grow with me. So, yeah, being on the team is very, very difficult, but I would love to work with you. I don't work for anybody, but I will work with you to help you succeed. And I love you guys with all my heart. I would have nothing without somebody to help. Last question here. I am Eduardo. I like your name, bro. I like that name. I wish my name was Eduardo. I'd probably have more girlfriends. Anyway, here we'll go for it. I'm Brazilian. Oh my gosh, and this guy's Brazilian. You got the double. Let's see what you do now. I really enjoy your channel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. How can backlinks be recognized more quickly? Well, so that's a twofold answer. Okay, and the tools available on the market don't work like they used to. Well, anybody that puts a pretty UI on top of a process and then sells as much as they can and have a commission structure, the probability of that being effective for a long period of time is highly unlikely. And we know the tools that I'm talking about, right? These indexing tools. They're being disingenuous from the start. First and foremost, it's not even an indexing tool. It's a crawling tool, right? There's a lot of filters in order to be able to get cached, to get crawled, to get seen, to make it into the actual forward-facing index. Hard. To get crawled and initially indexed, easy, right? And then there's ways to force it, but it's never getting indexed. It's staying indexed. But this is a two-part answer, and then I'm out of here. The first thing that I can say, like, I could force index any crap that we want, right? Junk. But, and I love, dude, nobody loves junky links more than me, right? Like, if I could fire up that GSA, that little bad boy, if I could go buy an engine, right, or do a new scrape, for $42 and go and build 10,000 referring, I mean, no, that warms no one else's heart other than mine. Like, I love that. That just tickles me pink, right? But what I've found over time is that there has to be some level of quality there in order for it to have a longevity within Google. In order for it to have some legs, there has to be some type of quality. And if I can give you anything, is identify and categorize your website based upon the link graph and here, go to your website right now. Go get Screaming Frog or Sitebolt or whatever tool you want. And I want you to pull it up, and it's called In Links Graphical. It'll give you a PDF of the in links. So the in link, and it'll also give you a word vector of your overall site. So take a look at the in links vector, and then look at the overall word grouping or the word cloud of the overall website. So based upon all the words combined together, what words show up most? Okay, and look at that. So there's your content. And now we're looking at the internal links. Okay, what words show up most? So construction maintenance, does it say roofing? Does it say services? Does it say law firm? Does it say personal injury? Now that's the content. Then the context, once you identified that, like, am I actually conveying to Google within the words that are written that I'm a personal injury lawyer? Now the next thing is figuring out, well, what category of link do I need? Right? So you want your stuff to stay indexed. The quality of link is going to be based upon, should I be pointing this link at this page? Like, what do I say about myself? What's my in-link vector and what's my overall word cloud? Like, what do I say about me? The next thing is looking at the top performers, true category specific winners in all the major cities in your niche, and figure out what category of link they all have in common. Okay? And then start only, whether it's with automated tools, whether it's scraping tools, whether it's comments, whether it's guest posts, whether it's featured posts, whether you're insane enough to pay flipping 10 grand from Siege, it doesn't matter. Is the category correct? Right? I love those posts, by the way. I would love to have the 10 grand, but I don't. For those sweet, like our true featured post, ooh, that would tickle me. That would make me feel good. I'm just jealous, so on those. I don't mean that in any disparaging way, by the way. I'm just jelly. I wish I could get one. A featured post and some of those assets. Oh, that's sweet. Now, these quoted or these link inserts that I see people flipping for a G, I get those. You know, like I could get the Forbes. I could get into the hot sites and get like a quoted, you know, but the featured posts, those are cool. But figure out what you say about yourself from the word groupings. And then the next thing is figure out what my overall category is, and you'll have a higher indexation rate. And then that's how you do it. You know, you want to have a higher indexation rate, get a better, that's what quality is. Have a higher quality link and you'll have a higher indexation rate. You want a service? I can't give you that right here, right now. But I love you. And I wish you the best. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. I got to go see little Chris. I love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I love you guys. Fill out the form. Ask the questions below. I'll make a video for you. My aim this year is to help over 1,000 people. Wait, is that my New Year's resolution? To help 1,000 people? Say I won't. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.